Yeah, today was the line in the sand. I couldn't give him 3 in a row. I was bleeding points. You know, I know it more than anyone, the points gap that I had, and I just let it all go to waste. And the last 2 races, they fought me, and man, these last 2 weeks I was quiet, and I really worked my butt off. I knew that this is the line of sand. I couldn't let him come in here, beat me in my home track in front of my home family, my friends, my Wexicans, and that start today, Toby Reed, back Hidwell, man, we worked all summer getting it, trying to get this bike started, trying to get me better. We made such improvements, and I was kicking myself because I wasn't able to show that Beckley. Was able to show it today. My best start I've had all year. My goodness, I almost didn't know what to do because I was like, I haven't been here, and I almost wasn't racing forward. So I got to shake them cobwebs next round if I get to get out front again like that. So that was really great today. We got off the start. Shout out Toby Reed, Motor Experts, Pat Kidwell, BDO. I'm just so pumped. The CST tires, Elka shocks by Impact Solutions, EWT wheels, everything was clicking today. I know Walker chiseled at the gap on the last lap, but I got to race this bike 2 more times, and I was just trying to get through it real smooth and just get around real nice and easy, and we was able to bring this thing home.
Bryson, without a doubt, this round with 2 left moving into the last 2 rounds, this one very pivotal. How important was this race compared to all the others this year?
Today was do or die. Like I said, this is the line in the sand. I could not lose today. I couldn't give him 3 in a row. This is my hometown, and I did not want to lose here by all means, and I worked my tail off the last 2 weeks, and I'm just so happy that everyone around me, my dad and my Uncle Mike and Pat Kidwell and Toby Reed and Justin Fallon, Chris Landers and the whole Magnum 1 team, I'm so happy that this summer we worked our butts off. We definitely improved the bike and made some good strides, and we wasn't able to showcase it at Beckley, but we was able to showcase it today, and the bike was kicking awesome, and we're ready for 2 more.
And you guys make some noise for your top 3 in the overall! Here we go, bang! Popping bottles on the GNCC podium. Get you some! Woo! Cheers! Walker! That sweet, sweet taste.
Welcome to America's Premier Off-Road Racing Championship, the 2022 GNCC Series presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. I'm Rodney Tomlin today along with Mikey Waynes and Cody Collier as we'll be bringing you the action here from Newburgh, West Virginia and Preston County. Beautiful West Virginia, right in the heart of the state, my friends, and all these beautiful fall colors and a crisp, cool fall day greets us here as we get set for what could be near perfect conditions. Ryan Eccles, trail boss, saying earlier this morning this could be the best track of the 2022 season. And what do we have to look forward to as far as the best track of the season is concerned? Great racing for sure, as the championship definitely heating up in the XC1 Pro classes. This is the one that folks have been waiting for a long time, as Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler are head-to-head. Fowler just a few points back in that number 2 position behind the Bidwell Bullet as they go at it. Bryson Neal coming off of a big win that was able to stretch that points lead out just a little bit more, and hoping to pad it today as we end this one in West Virginia as they head to the Ironman in just a couple of short weeks. And that's where the championship will most likely be decided. Folks, I tell you, it's going to be a great day here as far as first and second is concerned, or at least the battle for first and second in the points race. Now, as far as the battle for the race lead, that could be a little different today. We've seen some rising stars coming through the pack. Guys like Cole Richardson, obviously. Hunter Hart possibly due for another great ride here today in the mountains of West Virginia. And you can never count out the Gator, Adam McGill. He can always strike at any time unannounced. And, of course, it can happen especially right here in the Mountain State itself. Of course, XC2 Racing, you've got Jay Shadron that has been, well, the leader of that class basically all season, and everybody been trying to knock him off the top of that, and it has been some great battles. Brandon Owens and a few of the riders back there really giving fits. We'll see if anybody's going to be able to knock him off the top step. Well, I'll tell you, folks, weather pretty good, a little on the chilly side, mostly cloudy and cool as far as that goes, but it's perfect GNCC racing weather. And as we said, Ryan Eccles, Trail Boss, says this could be the most perfect track of the season, and to tell us just a little bit more about it, let's check in with our junior Trail Boss, Mr. Jared Bolton, to find out just exactly what this track's like.
Thanks, guys. We're back here at the Buckwheat 100 once again, and boy, this is an awesome course. The dirt here is a little bit different. When you come to West Virginia, you expect a lot of rock, you expect it to be muddy, you expect it to be slick. That's not always the case here. The dirt here can get a little more loamy. This place was an old coal mine, so there's some black dirt mixed in, got some of that coal in there still existing a little bit. And the track's kind of open, kind of flowy. You get out in the fields, it's super fast. And then you find some really tight stuff in the woods. So, you know what I'm going to say. There's a little bit of something for everyone. But this is a really fun, really beautiful course. Been a fantastic addition to the series, and it's going to produce some great racing. That's just Weekend's track description. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Jared. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery here in Newburgh, West Virginia today, and, of course, a great battle on tap. Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal going head-to-head, but a host of other riders hoping to get in the middle of it all. Stick around to find out how this one's all going to end at this, my friends, the AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC. We'll be back right after this.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Very proud that you are part of our family.
Thank you, guys.
Give it up, Hunter Boyle. Cheer him on. What's your number?
417 today.
417. Cheer him on from the side of the track when you see him roll by. He is our moto hero. Congratulations, Mr. Boyle. Firefighter Boyle.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a blessing on today's race, Mr. Ricky Towery.
Thank you, Rodney. And let's go to the Lord and let's have a word of prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for bringing us all together safely so we can have a little fun. You brought us to such a beautiful place, such a beautiful day to go out here and go racing. We just ask you to watch over these riders this afternoon. Lord, keep them safe. Let them go out there and have a good time together. Once again, we thank you for the landowner for letting us use this property to enjoy our sport. Continue to watch over our military men and women in all places in the world each and every day. And do be with our leaders that they will make the right decisions for our country each and every day. Lord, be with the people that went through the hurricane last week. Help them get their lives back in order quickly as possible. Give them patience because it takes a while to do that. Also, Lord, we have a special prayer request today. Be with Loretta Lynn's family and friends. She passed away this week. She means so much. She's such a special lady. She cared so much about the racing world. We just thank you for her and everything that she's done. Be with her family and friends that they could find some comfort through you in the days and the weeks to come. Just take us all home safely when this is over with so we can get back together again one day to have some more fun. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please stand at attention. Remove those caps and cross those hearts as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, there you have it, folks. Our stage is nearly set, but we have just a few more orders of business before we get this day up and rolling and on the way. By the way, welcoming everyone once again along the World Wide Web at racertv.com. And as we look down and around turn 1 into turn 2, we see that the best off-road racers in the world have converged here today, and they are as follows here in this 12th round of racing. We've got 12 rounds of racing underway, and of course, my friends, only 2 more to go in a championship that is about to heat over. And rolling to the line today after 12 rounds of racing in the #1 spot with spot choice #1 for the day from Bidwell, Ohio, riding aboard the Magna 1 Motorsports Yamaha, the Bidwell Bullet, Bryson Neal. He is rolling to the line second today in points. He is, of course, a 7-time GNCC champion and looking for more. Can he make it happen? Here today, riding aboard the number 1 from Rogers, Ohio on a WFR GBC Fly Racing Factory Yamaha, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line today, third in points. He rides aboard the number 2 from Newfield, New York on the original Formula 88. Ithaca Recreation Sports Maxxis Racing Fly Racing Back Yamaha of Hunter Hart. He is fourth in points, riding aboard number 733 from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania on a Gator Nissan, backed by Kenda and Action Off-Road. The Coal Train, Cole Richardson. Featured on the event t-shirt today, out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. Riding aboard the number 212 on a Pierce Performance GBC Action Off-Road Accident Waste Solutions Yamaha, John Glada Jr. He is sixth in points, riding aboard the number 7 and also featured on the event t-shirt today from Windsor, New York on a GBC Fly Racing 92 B&R Yamaha, Devin Feehan. Riding 7th in points aboard the number 3 from Casca, Pennsylvania, welcoming back on the JMR GBC El Caboose Racing Honda, Jared McClure. From the mountains of West Virginia, he is 8th in points, riding aboard the number 521 from Waverly on an over-tires Moose Racing Parts Unlimited Honda, the Gator, Adam McGill. Up next, 9th in points, riding aboard the number 6 from Akron, Ohio on a B&R Motorsports GBC Motorsports Hauser Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. 10th in points, riding aboard the number 9. 75 wins to his credit, 6 national championships on a CBR GBC Action Off-Road Fly Racing AMSOIL Yamaha, Chris Borich. And rolling to the line next aboard the number 703 from Petersburg, Indiana on an Action Off-Road Maxxis Demery Motorsports Yamaha, Austin Abney. Is a former XC2 Pro-Am champion, riding aboard the number 714 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on a Bulletproof Doors B&R Motorsports Cinch Graphics Yamaha, Ronnie Rush. He rides aboard the number 12, just recently wrapped up the XC2 Pro-Am Championship and back to the pro line from Acme, Pennsylvania on an Action Off-Road Pierce Performance Pro Graphics Yamaha, Jay Shadron. And last and certainly not least, celebrating 27 years as an XC1 Pro in the GNCC, he rides aboard the number 15 from Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing Factory Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this, the AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC. As our riders are set and the stage is nearly set, we have but one final order of business as DJ Judd climbs aboard the trusty ARM Max 1000 Yamaha. We ask him, my good fellow, would you please remove the meat? That's right. That is the Monster Energy Activation Transport, a.k.a. meat, making its way off the starting line as we have prepped and primed Beach Riders for today's show. And a championship showdown with only 7 points separating our top 2 riders today. Can Walker Fowler pull one out, inch one step closer to becoming the winningest GNCC racer of all time and capture his 8th championship? Stick around to find out, my friends. Will Bryson Neal be able to hold tight up front, or will we see another star rise to the top here at the Buckwheat 100 as Ricky Towery makes his way out from turn number 1, and he gets set to ready these riders for a The battle, for some, that could be the battle of a lifetime. 1 minute. 1 minute before this race day gets underway here in Newburgh, West Virginia. The revs are up as the heartbeats are as well. And Ricky Towery makes his way back down. Getting set to let these riders know it's nearly time to go. He'll wave that blue flag, signaling 30 seconds, and of course a dead engine call across the start. And there it is, folks, the blue flag waves. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. We are now less than 30 seconds away from going racing. But before we get that underway, I got to ask you, race fans here in West Virginia, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Come on, Preston County. I know we got a good crowd. We got a heartfelt crowd. Let's make some noise. Are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC. Walker Fowler emerges from turn number 1, the number 1, as he crosses the whole shot stripe, and he's got company with a big yellow helmet in the number 2 spot. The point leaders go to war right off the bat as the blue flag waves for the XC2 Pro-Am. Riders like Shane McMillan, Grayson Ella, Brandon Owens, Kenny Schick, Daniel Peters, Chase Allison, Wyatt Wilkin, Dylan Walraven, Steve Harrell, and Tanner Walker in 10 seconds. Oh, little bump and grind action off the start. Jockeying and tossing LeFou riders around as we, whoa, it's gonna, whoa. 5-0, Shane McMillan from Winchester, Virginia on the Ladon Racing TDR Motorsports McMillan Racing back ride. We'll get credit for that whole shot as we go to the Junior A 22 plus class in 10 seconds. Jeremy Ladon, Alan Blayfos, Bryson Mullahan, Henry Moore, Colton Kasuda, Dason Como, Alex Elioff, Andrew Hickson, Frankie Egras, Seth Wilson, Tyler Moore, Devin Masters, Corey Vandeliner, and Caden Ryan. One, 7-9, Dason Como out of Madison, Indiana, grabbing the early lead in this one as we go next to the Vet A30 plus class. And all set and ready to roll in 10 seconds. Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens, Brad Whitehead, John Arnold, Brent Sturdivant, Jonathan Fugate, Michael McAvoy, Kevin Yoho, and Jared Little off and rolling. Oh, we got a barn burner set to go to blaze here on this one today, folks. A couple of former pros ready to make it happen, and it's the 25 of Brad Whitehead grabbing the early lead out of Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania on an ECS Honda JMR Maxxis backed ride. Going next to the Senior A 40 plus class next. 10 seconds. Dirk DeCesar, Zachary Phillips, Brian Axline, Dominic Minichi, Jeremy Gouchard, Chris Conklin, Todd Muscala, and Ronald Varndell. The Marlboro Man, by the way, Todd Muscala. And how's this one going to fan out? It's the 414 Jeremy Gouchard, out of Mansfield, Ohio, to GT Thunder Evans Power Sports AMSOIL backed ride. College A class coming up. 10 seconds. Keaton Henderson, Alex Tiemann, Cody Forrester, Dalton Keys, Riley Salick, Nathan Dearborn, and Andre Williams, Trevor Furby, Ethan Meyer, Colton Dobbs, John Ashcraft, Lane McCormick, Kai Arbigat, Zach Knight, Chance Hickey, Parker Henderson, Damian Hawkins, and James Galata. Whoa, number 30, Alex Tiemann from Waterford, Ohio, slips that one in right around the outside, setting himself up good for the entrance to turn 3. Junior B 22 plus class coming up next. 10 seconds. William Wallace, Trace Furby, Justin Cotter, Dylan Steyen, Hunter Boyle, Logan Case, Austin Newman, Michael Donston, Noah Howard, and Nicholas Blaney. our moto hero in this one. Remember, on the 417, Hunter Boyle will keep an eye on his outcome today. 468, Logan Case from Hopedale, Ohio. BNR, GBC, and Scott Backride grabbing the early lead in that one. Event B 30+ class in 10 seconds. Justin Ratliff, David Kite, Taylor Lazelle, Steve Schaefer, Sean Slattery, Derek Hart, and Corey Pancake. Oh, here we go. Round turn 1 into turn 2. It is a definite 3-3-1. All up front, Taylor Lazelle from Morgantown, West Virginia. Just up the road a little piece as we head to the Senior B 40+ class coming up next. Got one getting off the track there. Rick Marino, Doug Bailey, Shane Worth. 10 seconds. Jason Root, Jeremy Van Fossen, Lyle Morrison, Jason Pfister, Nathan Robinson, Mike Reiser, Chad Wallace, Jeffrey Vaneski, Tim White, Robert Stevens, Richie McCauley, and Paul Myers. All off and rolling now. All right, what we got here? A 104. Rick Marino out of Niles, Ohio. I thought that looked like the Scarlet Gray on that machine on a Marino Custom Concrete and J&J Performance back ride. College B 16 to 21-year-olds coming up next. 10 seconds. Michael Worth, Denton White, William Whitty, Connor Brandt, Caden LeBruno, Alex Goss, also Connor Adair, Hayden Hunter, Elijah Martin, Colton Dooley, David Witt, Gavin Temple, Briggs Lazelle, Nathan Fravel, Charlie Stewart, Michael Horwath, Bryson Bellamy, Evan Osborne, William Wald, Josh Turner, DJ Mallow, Evan Grannon. Also Easton Snyder, Kane Skinner, and Travis Dudley. I believe that was Connor Bryant, 212. Out of Rogers, Ohio, on a BNR Motorsports Fly Racing GBC Motorsports back ride, grabbing that last hole shot. But I'll tell you, man, he was getting engulfed there by the entire class as things heating up here in West Virginia, my friends. It's a beautiful day. The leaves are turning a beautiful hue, no doubt about that. Stick around if you're on with us on RacerTV.com. Going to have some beautiful views as well as some great racing action that lies ahead. Can Walker Fowler pull another one out, chip away at that points lead? Can Bryson Neal win another one? Will something crazy happen here today? Will we see a new win? There's so many questions asked, so many to answer. Stick around to find out the answer to these and more as GNCC Live continues here on RacerTV.com.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
X and get yourself a fresh FMF t-shirt.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Mikey Wayne's here. You've already heard from my co-announcer, Rodney Tomlin, down in the starting line with those iconic 10-second calls. And here we go for the AMSOIL Buckwheat 100. Bryson Neal's got his work cut out for him, your points leader coming into today, as Walker Fowler was able to grab the whole shot. You're looking at the FMF PowerPoint right now, and boy, what a start by the Cole train. Cole Richardson there in the number 2 spot. Now, we'll look at those start replays here in just a moment, but are you ready for them? Oh, all right, let's do them. We're going to take a look at our Specialized start recaps to give you an idea of just what I'm talking about there. And that was Walker Fowler, obviously, with the great start. But what I'm talking about is Bryson Neal was middle of the pack. Now, if you pay attention, and we'll see him just as they head into the woods, I believe, I hope, on this shot. And he was able to pick up a couple of positions after, boy, honestly, middle of the pack start. Call it 7th, call it 8th. Bottom line is he was buried compared to what we're used to seeing. Great start. Little checkup from the neck up right there. Walker Fowler got the Camelback. I don't even see the chest protector. So unless he's got that thing hiding under the jersey, he said, enough of that pesky, it was a clear chest protector. We thought it was black, but nonetheless, no white chest protector for Walker Fowler. Trying something new this week, but you got an idea there as Bryson Neal was able to click off a couple of positions as they got bottled up. And good fight here in the XC2 class. How about it? Shane McMillan going out and getting it done for the whole shot. That was as close as it gets. Now, that was to the naked eye there, and that was according to what Rodney said down on the start during the broadcast. So I'm going with it. Rodney, it looked the same to me, but officially I know Jeremy Holbert was down there with the official call on that as he was right there at the whole shot. And here we go with the XC1. How cliche for us to say. Is it too cliche for us to say Roland Cole with Cole Richardson? Is that too cliche? I mean, it's an easy softball lob. I'm about it. I like it. I'm here for it. A Walker Fowler off to a great start in this one. Different line choice right there. Does it pay off? No, it doesn't. But there you saw Bryson Neal got that yellow helmet back on here, and obviously the reverse plate for the 241 of Bryson Neal, as he is your points leader by how much? Folks at home, there's the test for you. 7. 7 points is the difference between Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler in this one. So obviously Neal would love a win here today, give him a little bit of a cushion. But boy, how interesting things are going to be as we head into the last round in a couple of weeks. But got to get through today as we take a look at the Yamaha Racing track map here at the Buckwheat 100. I believe, our third year racing here, if I'm not mistaken. I think first year is 2020. That makeup round after Ironman in 2020. But come back here last year and this year. And great track. Reports I was getting this morning was a lot of
single track. Very difficult track to make passes. Really got to risk it for the biscuit. Got to get aggressive out there and try to make something happen if you're going to make a pass. And we had some of that in the 4x4 Pro class this morning. Hopefully Cody Collier, I didn't talk to him, hopefully he's going to pop in here and join us in the booth for the race call. But some aggressive passing in the 4x4 Pro class. But I think that's what you're going to have to do today. Again, if you want to make something happen with it being single track. And it was kind of interesting, was talking to a few of the riders after that, and I said, well, it sounds like to me if you get a good start in this one, you got a huge advantage. And who gets good starts? Walker Fowler. So does this track play to his advantage? Well, early in this one, yes, it does. Walker Fowler out front, moving, scooting. This was one of the sections, the open field section, that Landon Wolf was talking about out of the 4x4 Pro class. He felt like one of the, I won't say only areas, I won't say easy areas. None of it's easy, but one of the easier areas to try and make a pass compared to some of the tight racing in the woods. So might see some great passing here on the Yamaha Live Drone today, don't know, but nonetheless, Walker Fowler grabs the whole shot, grabs the early lead, and trying to put some distance on him, and I believe that is Bryson Neal right there. We got yellow helmet, white gear. Can't see the number plate from here.
I know that Bryson was buried, but it almost looked like I saw the glimpse of a yellow helmet anyway that was right behind. It was Cole Richardson.
Cole Richardson's in the 2 spot, yeah.
Okay, so I knew I seen a yellow helmet. I didn't know for sure if it was going to be that of Bryson or someone else's. But, I mean, taking a look at this right now, I mean, Walker, good run going, and but he's not shaking these guys. You know, that's one thing I heard the interviews, the post-race interviews, pretty tight out there. Doesn't sound like they can get a lot of the speed that they're typically used to. But, I mean, we're getting into like you said, this is only our 3rd season here. There's a lot of virgin terrain here, as well as a lot of the terrain that we have ran so far still hasn't had a chance to open up. And take into account it is rather mountainous, so you venture much off the trail, then you might find yourself in some pretty hairy situations. So getting a look at this, you can see some mud out there, Mikey, in those low-lying areas. Right there, actually, I think we had the start last year. If you remember, they had reconditioned, taken out a bunch of trees, and we actually did the start in that section. But this year, obviously, a little wetter. That area holding a little bit of water, moving the start just in a different place, which actually works out pretty nicely, actually. But nonetheless, great racing going on through the entire pack as we got them pretty wide coming out of that turn right there. Pretty impressive stuff.
That was all a pass right back. Said, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to let you have it back. I don't know about let you, but I got it back. So
is that our XC2 we're looking at, or is that the tail?
That might have been the tail end of that XC1. It might be the beginning of the XC2. Hard to tell from the live drone there.
Right, so we'll try to get a little better shot on that, but nonetheless, yeah, a lot of tight stuff, a lot of you know, beautiful mountainous terrain. That's one thing I wanted to point out. We said this, I think, probably last race, and I've talked about it a lot, and I'm just in total amazement. I've never seen fall come in on the way that it did. Summer checked out at 9 o'clock on
no doubt
on the last day of summer, and fall came right in the next day, and we haven't seen any overly warm days, just nice, beautiful days. The trees have just slowly been changing the way that, you know, that you would expect textbook-wise anyway. And here we are in West Virginia. You can see a hint of a lot of these trees begin, but there's still a lot more to go. We're going to get to see probably a lot of that from this Yamaha Live Drone here today. And as tight as the treetops are, I'll tell you, it's tight like that down underneath as well. So we've got some tight racing, some challenging racing here today, just mainly because of the tightness and because of the terrain change. A lot of rocks, maybe not as many as maybe Beckley, so to speak, but this is the mountains, so there's going to be some rocks, some loose stuff under there. It's going to be an interesting one, Mikey. Still waiting for those riders to check in. Seemed like this morning's, and I don't know if this will be the same thing for this afternoon, but we saw nearly a 10-minute difference between the first lap and the second lap. And I'm not sure, but I was thinking we were only getting out at the 1 mile marker. We might have jumped on the track a little later than that, and that would account for an 18-minute lap, then a 28-minute lap, so to speak. Waiting on the leaders here right now, Mikey, and again, there's a beautiful view from the finish line as fans kind of gathering around here. You know, this is the finish line. You see a few people hanging out here. It's really wild the way the fan
Yes.
progression works throughout at GNCC. You know, they start at obviously at the starting line, and then they move over to maybe some of the more popular spectator areas like hill climbs and mud holes and things like this. And from what I understand, a rather interesting hill climb coming up, approaching the finish line here, where we'll probably see a lot of fans begin to gather as the race day wears on, and especially towards the end of the race, when I'm sure if they race as tight as what they are and what we've seen them race in the past, will probably be a pretty good place to watch for a pass attempt, or quite possibly even a pass for the win. When it comes that time a little later today.
So I believe, yeah, like you're saying, I think we'll see our leaders pop out here out of the woods, and then they'll pop back into the woods for a moment before they come into the finish. And how about that on cue? There is Walker Fowler out in front. I believe that's still the Coltrane in the number 2 spot as they just creep back into the woods. And here we go around to the finish. No, they duck back in the woods a little bit. I mean, there was a tree in between them and us, so I'm counting that as the woods. Why not? 1 lap completed. Walker Fowler scooting out there. I think I was John Glotta up there. Cody Collier's here. He has arrived. Made it. So got 1 lap completed for some of our XC1 riders, and I think it was, I believe that was correct, Bryson Neal in the 4 spot. Behind Glotta, and Hunter Hart behind him, rounding out that top 5. Sneaky Snake Jared McClure in 6. Wanted to give a quick shout out, and I don't know if she's watching or not. Caitlin Osborne had a bit of a family emergency, had to leave the track here this weekend and head home. So, Kate, if you're watching out there, we're thinking about you, and you know Jared is as well out there on the course. And Austin Abney, they're in the 7 spot.
She already biked the whole track yesterday. She passed yesterday. Put in all that work. No, that's a shame.
Well, Cody Collier has joined us in the booth as our next rider's number 9 right there checking in with us. Of course, Chris Borch, I believe, has been Chris Borch has been a rather consistent around 9-10 place position holder this year. You know, you haven't seen a lot of aggression out of him so far as of recently anyway, but good steady as she goes there for the CBR rider. And we were talking, here comes your leader, I believe now. This would be our leader, I think, in the XC2.
Stephen Harrell. I got confirmation on that.
It is Harrell.
Yesterday on the track walk. It is Harrell, not Harrell.
That's what I said, Harrell.
Yes,
that's what I said, right? That's what I said, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we know. Now we know.
Yeah, and you know, absolutely. You know, I go for years sometimes, unless I've been told otherwise, I go with what I think it is. Like
you had it right. You had it right from the get-go.
The one that I have no idea how I get it right every time, but it was told to me, and you know, the Seychelles check one.
Oh yeah, I have to look at it, look away from the monitor, and then say it.
Yeah, you
because if I try to read it, forget it.
You can't read it. It doesn't look. Here comes Walker Fowler through the Method Alley now. Lighter, stronger, faster Method race wheels, and he is lighter, stronger, faster on the quad right now as he bounces back out into a edge of the woods line section. I'll tell you, you know, as we watch this and we watch Fowler and his amazing skills along with Cole Richardson, who has just basically got him shadowed right now. 5 seconds back is John Glotta and Bryson Neal. I wouldn't be surprised to see a really good battle, maybe a pass attempt through this section of the track, especially, Cody, if what I was understanding you guys talking about from this morning's earlier race at 11 o'clock, how tight it is, not a lot of passing opportunities. Sounds like you guys were really just grinding it out, really just trying to get past each other.
Yeah.
Yep, there's Bryson is up to 3rd. So we do have confirmation on that, they're telling us. So that should put Glotta back a spot. And
I think
Glotta's still in 3rd.
And the white and red, that's Glotta for sure, still in 3rd.
All right.
No, you're good.
All right.
Yeah, Glotta's still in 3rd, Bryson in 4th, and
right.
Hunter there in 5th. All within inside the leaders. We battle here for the top 5. Yeah, no, we're all good.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this morning there was just 0 pass and very single track. Main line was just good. The main line was just good everywhere.
Right. How about the flow of the track itself? Does it have a good flow?
Yeah. I really like the track. I really like the track. It has a lot of good pace, but they're just not. If you get behind a lapper, there's nothing you can do. There's not any line.
Sounds like a guy who didn't win.
No. There are just no lines out there today.
No, actually, you know, and I heard you weren't the only one that said that. So I mean, I'm just joshing with you. Of course, the other guys that I heard said that didn't win either. So
no. Frazier got flag to flag from Frazier today.
Yeah, he did.
On great pace.
He did.
Me and Landon were right on all over him all day, and just couldn't make anything happen. He rode awesome all day. Real consistent, real smooth in the woods, and really opened it up in the fields, and we just had nothing for him. And, me and Landon had a great battling all day. He got the best of me today, and I ended up rounding off the podium.
So what's that do as far as the championship in 4x4 Pro class right now?
So I'm leading. Mickelson's second. He got fourth today, I believe. So it gives me a couple more points over him. Landon, I've gained a few points on me. I think that makes him like 27 or 26 points back in the championship. Told me he wasn't going to Ironman today. So that helps. So pretty much all I got to do is finish Ironman, and I got it. So just click off laps to Ironman. Make it happen.
Devin Feehan, I believe that was, going by there just a moment ago on that number 7 machine, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see him posted up here as checking in so far.
13th back, I think.
Oh, yeah, there he is, 13th.
Overall.
13th in the overall. Okay, yeah, so actually that's 13th overall, 13th in class, because everyone we see through the top.
Stephen Harold.
Harold's shadowing these guys. All the XC1 riders, there's not more than like a 10-second gap, it really looked like.
Yeah.
And then he looks like he's right in tow with that XC1 group, and you still haven't seen any other XC2 riders come through. It's a great ride from him so far today. It looks like Bryson in third now. Now Bryson Neal has got that 3 spot. Clouded there in fourth. Hearts are running out top 5.
Adam seemed a little excited about that.
Premonition. That's what that is.
Adam said, I felt it coming, man.
Manifest.
Well, so there are some split lines opening up out there, but like
the main line's good. You're not really going to pass a fast.
You almost have to have the leader get caught behind a lap rider in that section right there. That's what you got to.
A little luck. A little luck with the lines.
Which we saw that. We saw that this morning after you guys got cleared. The 4x4s got clear out front. And then I get done doing post-race interviews with the top 3 out of 4x4 Pro. And at that point, WXC was only a minute back. So I run back over to the monitor because I don't see any of the WXC pros. And I look, and they're 2 minutes late. Then they're 3 minutes late. Then 3 minutes and 30 seconds later, finally, in the same order they were in, Hannah Hunter checked in. And then that is
wow.
Mark Montman. That is smart because, Walker knows where he's at. I know I'm out front. I don't care by how much. I just want to know where the 241 is.
And no disrespect to anyone else, but that's who he is racing. I mean, he's racing everyone on the track, but he's racing for the championship right now, and that's what he's more concerned about. And it tells him whether or not he needs to actually a winner take all. For Ironman. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So Adam reminding us that it is going to be that. I mean, it's going to be right down to the nitty gritty. It looks like in this one, a winner take all battle royale between Bryson and Walker as we head into that final round. And a lot obviously hinging on what happens here today. I mean, this race day isn't over. And if things are consistent in what we've seen and what we expect, then that's what we expect. So anyway, never want to count chickens before they hatch, so to speak. And I've been wanting to do that a lot myself over time, so I don't want to do that for anyone else and kind of miscue on a few things. But man, I tell you, this is honestly, you couldn't write a more textbook dream season from a fan standpoint as far as what we've seen as the competition. Look at this. Bryson Neal has rolled up onto the rear now of the 733 of Cole Richardson, who is not far behind the grab bar of Walker Fowler. Fowler now, you can see more of a sense of urgency now that he knows that Bryson Neal is in that number 3 spot. But Coltrane, another fast rider, and I'll tell you, Walker Fowler has mentioned it on several occasions over the years that Cole is one of the biggest threats on the racetrack anytime he lines up out there. And we know as well that Bryson Neal is too. So right now, Walker Fowler is in a pretty bad situation as far as the competition. He's in a really good situation because he's the kind of person and the kind of rider that rises to the competition and is there for the battle. And this is one that could go just like this the entire 2 hours, kind of like what we saw in the 4x4 Pro Class earlier today.
You know what's interesting is you think about, for those that watched Pro Moto this year, between Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, almost a similar scenario where you got these guys battling for a championship. I think Walker Fowler is the role of Eli Tomac. He's the wily veteran that's got the championships, ice in his veins. I think even with a points lead, maybe not a lot of pressure, but a little bit more pressure on Bryson Neal in this scenario to not let the champ get away from him.
I don't know if you're paying attention to body language on those riders as they made their way through just now, Mikey, but you could see, there was I don't want to say a sense of urgency, but you could see it was more of a flighted rabbit, so to speak, out of Walker Fowler. And it looked like, and you had Cole back there who obviously racing and look, but a stalker is what it looked like Bryson Neal was. I absolutely looked like he was in pure stalk mode at that particular point. And if we get another chance to see that, I hope that you can recognize the same thing I saw there. It was pretty. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've seen Walker, really attacking the track, hitting the main lines, really setting into stuff. Cole was kind of outside insiding, just being real lazy with it, missing the holes, just being really smart, really smooth with it. And but yet, like you said, Bryson looked really aggressive. He was all the way outside, all the way inside, seeing what cuts he really could make for later on in the race. And he looked really dicey with it, going all the way outside, all the way inside, just testing the track a little bit. Very racy.
Yeah, very racy. And he looked very in control. I don't want to say he's not. He's where he wants to be, but honestly, he's right where he needs to be at this particular point. He knows it, and this, my friends, is just the beginning of what we're seeing. Look at this. The front four riders right here in the same camera shot, and this is a lap and a half nearly into this race now, guys. And this isn't often we get to see it like this.
Yeah, got to hand it to Glotta right there with them, and Hunter Hart charging on this, and kind of expected to see Hunter Hart have a little bit of a better start here today, but he's right there in the thick of it, really your top five. And then you've got the gap back to Jared McClure, at least last time we saw.
Yeah, McClure, good to see him back with us, and also Austin Abney out there making some strides, it looks like. Jay Shadron making his move back up to the XC1 Pro class as he had gone away for a while, went to, junior class, I believe, and then went to XC2 Pro-Am, and now back here a few years later, makes his climb back into the XC1 Pro class. Welcoming him back. Good to see that. So we see him. I believe he's running back about that 8th, 9th place position. A couple of riders. Well, one rider in particular I'm a little surprised about. Him right here, Adam McGill, the Gator. I kind of expected this being West Virginia, that this might be an area that might be a little more suited to his riding. But, Adam's the kind of rider that surprises you in different times and different terrains and different conditions all the time. Seen also Devin Feehan checking in the 10 spot. I believe that would actually be the 11 spot of the XC1 Pro class, maybe 12 now. And I believe just ahead of him we saw
McGill just ahead
Chris
of him.
Sports, yeah, and McGill. I saw some of those riders going through there. So
there's Merritt.
Here we're 12 rounds into this, and I'm not going to lie to you. I still cannot get used to Chris Sports wearing the number 9. And I can't get used to Hunter Hart on the number 2. Those two things have just not sunk in yet.
Hey, all season long, I've been seeing Devin Feehan, number 7. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking of Hunter Hart a few years ago. I feel you.
Well, good. It's not just me.
No.
I can't blame it on COVID fog anymore.
That's right.
Longer.
Hey, buckle up. They'll all change again here after one more round.
Absolutely. I'll leave you to have to deal with that next year. So there's some of our XC2 Pro-Am riders we're watching check in with us right now, Mikey. At last check, whenever they came through the finish line, Steve Harrell, Brandon Owens, Tanner Walker were 1, 2, and 3. Now, there was 24 seconds between Harrell and Owens. Harrell had really gotten off to a great start. Obviously, 9th place overall, putting a pretty big gap between himself and the 246. Tanner Walker was only about 3 seconds behind Owens.
Oh, look at this, Rodney.
at the coal pile, Monster Mile.
Yeah, that XC2 class looks like it got shaken up a lot. Actually, it looks like Harrell was still holding on to Rush right there, holding on to the tail end of the XC1 pack, and yeah, doubling through the mulch. Very, very cool stuff.
That's coal.
And the coal.
Yeah, the coal pile. Come on now.
The coal pile.
The West Virginia coal, man.
The coal pile. Yeah, and then it looked like Bowens had actually closed in at about at least 10-15 seconds on Harrell. So Bowens might be one of the fastest guys on the track right now, being able to close in on the XC1 guys like that in just a few miles. And then it looked like White Wilken had got around Tanner Walker and closed in, been keeping toe with Brandon Owens' pace, and Walker was still there with Wilken. So.
But we do have Bryson Neal up into the 2 spot now.
Yeah.
So it's on.
Yeah, it's
Here
on.
we go.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Everybody at home watching this, you paid your pay-per-view. You're getting what you paid for right now.
It's worth every dime.
More than
the money you paid for it. But we're going to have to make you wait a little bit longer, my friends. Just now, through the 5-mile marker, on mile marker number 2. Walker Fowler out front, and Bryson Neal has clawed his way into the number 2 spot. It's on, my friends. From the mountains of West Virginia, return with us for more of this AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
Canati Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
USMCA has been connecting riders to certified coaches since 2016. There are over 300 active certified coaches on motorcyclecoaching.org, and we recently launched our new mobile app, making it easy to connect with a coach and book your next training session. So here's what you do. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app, then search for coaches and upcoming classes. Once a training session is booked, riders have the option to pay for their class and even get a calendar reminder that will automatically sync to their phone. Get connected today.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
OnTrackSchool.com. Check it out.
I love this place. I didn't get to race here last year, but the year before in 2020, I think that was the inaugural running for GNCC. It was awesome. The track was like just true blue woods racing, hero dirt, not much rock in the soil anywhere. There is some rock, but a lot of just loamy, nice dirt, big fields. This place has a little bit of everything, so just went out and checked out the track. It's a little bit chilly today, but other than that, the track is just amazing. So we're looking for a good day of racing. We got the win here at the last race at Burr Oak at the John Penton GNCC in Athens, Ohio. We got the dub there, so looking to take that momentum, carry it into the day, try to strike another win, and get some breathing room going into Ironman for this championship chase with Walker.
Well, back at Newburgh, look at that. Look at that. There it is. The championship battle is underway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders right there. Nose to grab bar as they make their way past the 9-mile marker in the FMF PowerPoint here at this AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC, the penultimate round of the 2022 GNCC Series presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. Rodney Tomlin, Mikey Waynes, and Cody Collier in-house with us once again today, 4x4 pro racer and third-place finisher from today. I'm just going to keep rubbing that salt in there. he hates it when he hates it whenever when he wants to, and he's third place. He's like, argh. But no, congratulations, good ride. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I just like having fun with you, Cody. He's a good guy, no doubt about that. Walker Fowler. Now, this is the way they were.
It looks like Abney passed McClure.
Wow. So
yes, sir.
He's working up. So now this is the way. Let's just look back 30 minutes ago, guys. 30 minutes ago when they came through the finish line, it was Walker Fowler leading, Cole Richardson, John Glodda Jr. was third, Bryson Neal was fourth, Hunter Hart was fifth, Jared McClure was in sixth, then Abney, Shadron, McGill, and Borch. Okay, now here's the thing to think about this. Before that, remember, Bryson Neal was about 7th or 8th place position, so he made a lot of gains on lap 1. He's made a lot of gains here on lap number 2. And the cool thing about it is everyone is still together. Those front 5 are still basically nose to tail as they make their way through here. And I don't know. You were out there, Cody, and you said that this would probably likely be a way that we would see this finish is what we're seeing here today. These guys nose to tail and this close together. Now, I'm sure the last lap's going to be a little bit more defining. But, man, to this point right here, I can't say that you're going to be wrong about that. We could see it come across the finish line like this.
These guys are so good. They're all at the top of their game right now. They're able to cue off Walker. You see what he's doing. This track kind of limits what you're doing. It's kind of slick and tight, and it catches you off guard. Got some weird holes in it, so it kind of limits your pace. And they're able to see what Walker's seeing, run his pace, and it's just going to lead to a great day of racing. Some tracks are so open, you can really do some special stuff and get away, but here you're kind of just hitting your lines, it's a real technical track, so these guys are able to match it.
Now, is that clay like what it looks like, or is that kind of deceiving with what?
There's probably 7 different dirt types here. Like it just changes so much. Here it's got a little bit of a clay base, and then some places it's going to be that loam, like Bryson was saying in the last clip, and then you'll have the fields where it's kind of dry and cow poop everywhere. It's a little bit of everything here. And
that is true.
Then it's got rock base in one section, so a little bit of everything here. Keeps you on your toes. You got to constantly be changing your riding style, how you're attacking the corners, knowing when it's going to give, and they're able to see what Walker's seeing and able to cue off of it.
Well, I'll tell you, we are officially what you would say late, as opposed to what the first lap times were. If we're in the 8 to 10 minute range longer second lap time, we're still probably about 5 minutes out or so from seeing our leaders check in right now. So we are on the watch at the finish line, and again, this is going to be interesting. The separating factor, or maybe the factor that's going to make the changes out here between these guys, again, because I don't know that there's going to be much separation, is what passes you can make in those little open short field sections that these guys have got.
It looks like Bryson's got a couple little good choppy lines in these woods, so he's just got something special in line here and there where he's been able to pick through these guys. So field, like I said, fields are the big thing, but it looks like Bryson's got a few lines in his back pocket, as we've seen him be able to pick through the pack. So see if he can do something to Walker, see if Walker can respond.
And it's amazing to me, you know, sometimes how, you know, a racer can see a line where, you know, certain racers see different lines differently than most people do, and whenever you see them see it for the first time and you recognize what they see, you're like, why didn't I see that? How could I have not recognized that before? But look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all in the same camera shot, and man, look at this. Look, Bryson's already trying to put his head down.
Oh, yeah.
Aggressive, not only aggressive, but aggressive riding as far as attacking the track and trying to get the speed and put the power to the ground. He's looking already to try and make a pass on Walker right now as he sneaks up. He's starting to show some wheels there, and you have to wonder, is that getting in the mindset of Walker? Will it cause any issues for him or inspire him more?
Oh, Walker knows who it is. You know that. So Bryson just trying to show him a wheel, see if Walker's going to give him anything, if he's going to slip or whatever. Walker's just going to focus on Walker's not looking back. I don't think he's looked back a single time. He knows who's there, and he's just eyes forward, knows what he's got to do, right? You've talked about the ice in his veins. He's just going to attack this track for everything it's worth, and Bryson's going to be right there the whole way.
Man, they are riding two different racetracks right now.
Oh, yeah.
Completely different, except through right here, but two different lines, two different racetracks for these two riders through that field section.
It's interesting, you know, you think normal situation like this, Bryson Neal, you want to force that guy in front of you into a mistake. Walker Fowler doesn't really make many mistakes. I really think, like the 4x4 Pro race, not to pour salt in the wound, Cody Collier, it's going to have to be an aggressive pass if Bryson Neal wants to make it, though.
I don't know if Bryson played anything too aggressive on those other guys. I'm thinking Bryson's got a few pretty decent lines where he was able to pick through the pack. I think Bryson's got something, and we'll see if Walker can respond. I think Bryson's going to get the lead here in the next couple laps and see what Walker's got for Bryson.
46.5 minutes into this race now as they come out of the woods once again. And Bryson Neal going for the grass and the smoother part of the race line here. It's almost like, I mean, it almost seems like he's kind of playing with him, but then again, at the same time, you know, he's testing the waters at the same time to see what he's going to look at that.
Oh, boy.
Fowler got pushed a little wide right there, and look at that. He's trying to strike.
I think Walker's going to hold it.
That was a good recovery by Walker right there.
It was very
Real
good.
The pivot on the inside held it. Very nice.
Well, he can't afford to make very many of those mistakes right there, folks, because
in these fields.
I wonder who was going to get to the inside of that corner.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Along the fence.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't know. Somebody's got to let up on that one, and thankfully they did. You know, absolutely. Adam Gordon, our producer, saying this is a lot of fun to watch. It absolutely is. The only thing that kind of maybe I'm a little disappointed. Maybe we could have come a couple weeks later, or fall could have been a little couple weeks sooner, so we could see through those trees right now with our Yamaha Racing Live drone. If we could see what's going on in these wood sections right now, we would probably be blown completely away.
Who's going to pop up out of these woods first?
And Adam Gordon says, an all southern West Virginia off-roads, winter, all southern winter. I don't care. It's still cold in the south in the winter. I go down mid-south in the winter times. It's still cold down there. 4 degrees one morning, I think it was. Snow on the ground. Whoo! It was a great race, though.
It's fine as long as it's like freezing and the dirt's solid. It's when it's like 30 and it's kind of frozen and then it's a slop fest, that's when it's no fun.
Absolutely.
If it's like 0 degrees and you're just worried about the cold but the dirt's like not soup, that's fun.
Yeah, it is.
I don't mind that.
And it was, believe it or not. I had a good time that day. I was dressed for the occasion until about 6 o'clock when Mother Nature started calling.
Oh.
And all there was, ooh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll move on. And speaking of Mother Nature, I tell you what, she is enjoying what is going on in her mountains right now here in Preston County, because she has got it embraced. She has embraced a great race here today. We're starting to see some sunshine, a little bright out there. That light wind blowing, I will tell you, it may look warm out there right now, but that is a rather brisk wind, probably, you know, more than light jacket weather, maybe hoodie and jacket weather at this particular point. But definitely well worth the time and the effort to be out here. If you're out here being a part of the races, whether you're watching or racing the event itself, I mean, just an absolutely amazing day here in West Virginia for sure.
Yeah, it was a little cold this morning when I got going on my race. It's probably like 45 or so, 50, and it's been holding that. But these guys are not cold out there riding these 4 wheels. I tell you what.
Were you cold? Did you notice it once you got racing?
I was sweating the first lap. I just had a light long sleeve shirt underneath, nothing crazy, and I was sweating that first lap. I got to.
Oh, here it is. Good, but, look at that, just
all over each other.
They look like they're magnetized to one another right now. As they come around. The Monster Can is bowing to the greatness of this race as they come through. Hey, man, speaking of Monster, these boys have unleashed the beast here today. Yep. All 5 of them, actually. There's our 3rd place ride. Right back there,
Bryson Neal trying everything right now, going for it around the outside, showing him that front wheel. But Bryson working outside to inside, working every inch of this track, looking for any opportunity.
So this is interesting. I don't think Walker's really going full speed. You know, he's kind of riding very, very defensive, so everyone else is easily being able to keep in tow. I think Abney actually made up time on this group from like the 6 mile marker shot to like the 10 mile marker shot we had.
And at this point,
I thought he closed in like 5-10 seconds. So I think Walker's kind of just riding defensive.
Well, yeah, and that's what he has to do at this point, Cody. Whenever you look at the big picture there, because as we've noted, we watched the 241 of Bryson Neal stalking his way up through, like he is stalking the prey that is just ahead of him right now, and it's on. I mean, this is a situation where you've got the hare and the hound, and the hare is bobbing, he's weaving, he's going wherever he can just to stay out of reach of the hound behind him right now, and I think that's exactly what it's done. It slowed the pace down just a little bit, tightened things up, but the intensity of the battle is probably about 3 times more.
You got to think, too, Walker knows as well as anybody watching, the days of him just being able to run away with it, they're not there. He's not going to outrun Bryson Neal today. So to your point, Cody, I think the defensive riding is the smart play. Let's not exert all my energy trying to build a lead. I know
Absolutely.
I'm going to lose within 2 hours. Let me just play defensive riding and hold this guy off.
Yeah. A lot of mental game going into this right now.
So 29 minutes, 58 seconds on the last lap around. So it was about another 8-9 minute, almost 10 minute longer lap. I think it was 20 minutes that last time around for the first time around for these riders. So right under 30 minutes at 29:58 for Walker Fowler. Get this, Bryson Neal a 29:45 on lap 2. That's brought him into the number 2 spot. Cole Richardson running 3rd. John Glada in 4th, Hunter Hart in 5th, Austin Abney checking in 26 seconds back of those top 5 in the 6th place position. As noted there by Cody, it looks like they might have closed that gap up a little bit. Jared McClure in 7th, Jay Shadron 8th, Adam McGill is 9th, Chris Borich rounding out the top 10, Devin Feehan, by the way, back in the number 11 spot. Still waiting on the XC2, at least we'll update now and see if our XC2 Pro-Am have checked in for 2 laps complete, and where that puts Steve Harrell and Brandon Owens and Tanner Walker and all the boys there as they wage it out for the XC2.
Rubbin's racing, boys.
Isn't that a quote from a youth rider today, Mikey?
It certainly was.
And a couple 4x4.
And a couple 4x4 guys as well. That's been the theme of this weekend. Press, love it.
All right, so press. What exactly does that mean?
Pressure. Keep pressure
now, is that who was that? I didn't catch it.
I believe that was Tim, the Wexer owner.
Okay, Neil Pitt, right?
Neil Pitt.
Yeah, Neil Pitt.
Neil Pitt.
All right, so here we go. So press. That was because he just gave the little head nod.
I am.
So if you wonder,
you if you only knew.
Yeah, if you wonder if they read the pit boards or not, that little acknowledgement from Bryson Neal to that pit board holder, that right there. Yes, we got it. I got this. He says that's what I'm doing. I'm pressing. And right behind him, Cole Richardson pressing, John Glotta pressing, and Hunter Hart pressing as well. How you doing?
I'm telling you, he's closing. I'm telling you, Abney's closing on these
guys.
Yeah,
that's a little closer than that near 30 seconds that we were looking at. That's closer to the
Abney's coming for the dub today, guys.
It's it's tough though. I mean, you got a lot of open space in front of him, but he's able to hit his marks, and I think that's
all
due.
Right, think about this. You know what he said? We kind of chuckle about that. But one little cross up by those guys, one little hold up. Let's say,
you got 5 riders right there.
Boom, and then all of a sudden they bottle up. Here comes, boom.
Slingshot.
You could be closer to right than what you realize.
Hey, engage that slingshot.
I like that. That would be a rather interesting turn of events here today, no doubt about it. But all right. So with things going the way they are right now, we've looked at our top 10 in the XC1. We've looked at a couple of the XC2. Let's just go ahead and look through the rest of the XC2 Pro-Am class. Steve Harrell, Brandon Owens, Wyatt Wilkin, 24, almost 25 seconds, both between first and second and third of Harrell to Owens, Owens to Wilkin. Tanner Walker, another 32 seconds back and forth. Daniel Peters in fifth.
He's having a great ride. He's right there. He's right behind Tanner. Like 10 or so seconds. Great ride from Daniel today.
Dylan Walraven in sixth. Chase Allison in seventh. Grayson Eller now in the number 8 spot. Shane McMillan, the number 9 position. And Big John City got that, by the way. And Nicholas Roy.
Cole and Junior out of the picture. Junior back to 4th. No Bryson. Bryson back to 5th.
So mistake by Bryson Neal. All that work he's put in.
Well, there you go. See, that right there, the pressure that he was applying, he might have tried to apply. And or like what you were talking about, these sections that he has that might have up his sleeve for a little quick shot at a pass, might have backfired on him.
Abney's closing. And, maybe Bryson showed him too much of a wheel in one of those lines, and Walker cut down a little bit out of the corner, put him into a tree. He's right there, though. He'll that shakes things up, though, makes it interesting. I think you might see Walker try to run away with it now. Might pick up that pace out of nowhere.
That could change the face of what's going on up front.
Jay Shad, McGill closing in on McClure. Boards right there, dropped a little bit off of McGill, but that group's close.
So here we are.
So two big groups forming. Abney's closing in on that front pack, and then they got that second group, that 6 through 8.
My question, we see how tight things are in the XC1 class. How can we not have the same parallel in the XC2 Pro-Am class? We're looking at 25 seconds basically between first and second, third, 30 seconds back to the 4th place position, 18 seconds back to 5th place, another 30 seconds back to 6th place. And then it tightens up for a couple riders, but this is some of the most separations that I've ever seen in the XC2 Pro-Am class. What's the difference today? Is it the terrain? Is it something?
They got no J-Shad out there with them to keep pace off of.
I think Steven got off to a great start, and maybe a back marker of the XC2 got a good jump and held everyone up. And then that's where Steven was able to get that gap, and then Bowens, Wilkin, Walker are still semi-close, so I think that's where you see that separation. Maybe a mistake, want to hit tree, lost like 20 seconds or so, but I think Steven just got clear of all of it and ran.
And that was what was important, obviously, at least in that battle in the XC2 Pro-Am class. We step back into that College A class as we check Walker Fowler. Look at that. You were right.
Pushing now.
No more riding defensively now. It's all offensively, and he is going for the Hail Mary right now. He is letting her rip, Tater Chip. Lane McCormick leading the College A class right now, by the way, as we watch Fowler, and now that would be Cole Richardson in the number 2 spot. Bryson Neal, is that still him back there in the number 5 spot?
Yep.
Yeah.
James Glotta, by the way, in 2nd place of the College A. Alex Thiemann is in the 3rd place position. Keaton Henderson 4th. Damian Hawkins rounding out the top 5. Cody Forrester is 6th. Christopher Howard 7th, John Ashcraft is 8th, Nathan Dearborn in 9th, and Zach Knight rounding out the top 10. Kind of makes me wonder. McCormick now in for 2 laps, so we're just starting to see those College A riders in for their second laps complete. So we're at the pits. Will we see pit stops? Looks like we will. Mikey Waynes, what's going on down here? What do you see?
Well, it looked, for a moment I didn't think Walker was pitting, but I think he is. They have, keep in mind, opposite ends of the pits for Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler. Bryson Neal able to get off, cool, calm, collected. Obviously no bike problems, nothing like that from whatever get off he had out in the woods to drop those 4 positions, but looks like everything is right back to the same order it was.
It almost looks like, I mean, if you look at
Okay, so we did get confirmation. Walker Fowler did pit there, which makes sense. I don't know why he wouldn't have, but yeah.
But, you know, looking at Bryson Neal, it doesn't appear that he had any necessarily big get-offs or anything. He doesn't look to be...
him or the machine looked good.
Yeah, so it could have been a crossed up or stuck on a tree, just like what Cody was talking about there.
I think he's got a little general Rubbins racing type of thing.
Did we see the pass? Did he make it stick?
No, Hart just pushed around the outside. He had a really good drive, and Cole just kind of being defensive. And,
man, we're already at the 4-mile marker here.
Hart's pushing Cole. He's wanting to run with Walker.
Well, this third lap certainly seems to be clicking away pretty, I don't want to say quickly, but, man, they're already at the mile marker number 4 on this lap, and that's pretty hard to believe. Just over an hour now in this race, so 1 hour of racing left to go. I got to wonder how many more laps are we going to see out of this. Will this be a 5-lap race? What did you guys race this morning? 4?
4.
And we'll probably be in that same department. You go 3. Yeah, that would put us
hour 50.
Hour 50 minutes, hour 50, 55 minutes or so. So, yeah, 4-lap race, I think, is what we're getting confirmation on. So, yeah, so right now, next time they come around, guys, we're going to see a white flag. And that's probably the best news that Walker Fowler would like to see at this particular point, because that means he's only got 1 more lap of that sprint that he's got to lay down. And I almost have to think that he would do that. But right now, Fowler out front and due in about 18 minutes or so. 4-lap 3 complete. A lot of things can happen, as we've seen just now at the 4-mile marker, watching at the FMF PowerPoint. This will probably be closer, a little closer to the 5 maybe, but there's Fowler.
Whoa. Oh, going for it.
I love it.
That the biggest person to benefit right there was Walker Fowler.
Glauda as well previously. So Hart just made the move on Cole for second. Beautiful, beautiful pass. And then Bryson got around Junior.
So a little position jockeying. Yeah, while those guys are doing that, Walker's just stepping on away.
Yeah, that was obviously kudos to Hunter Hart for making the pass there. But I think the beneficiary of all of that was Walker Fowler out front. Now gets to stretch it out a little bit more. And now you're going to have a fired-up Cole train that Bryson Neal's got to try and work around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that charge from Avenue, I don't think he's going to be making up so much time now. That front group's moving now. But McGill around J-Shad.
Yeah,
he's really seems like he's got some good pace. I think McGill's going to close in on Avenue and push him.
So just to give you an update on that, you know, what we watch, what we feel, and how we see it, you know, and might be a little bit deceiving right now, as we just got confirmation from our producer as he went back and checked everything. He says the gap from Walker Fowler all the way back to Bryson Neal, only 5 seconds.
Jeff Hart learning that the pass just happened for second.
Holy jeez,
you
gotta be
everywhere.
kidding me. Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's neat.
I don't. That's
a perfect Jeff Hart.
That was a great Jeff Hart impression.
That was. Jeff Hart sounded like him.
I'm telling you what, if for Halloween Iron Man weekend, Jeff Hart, I'm begging you, please dress up as Sasquatch out in the woods, because that man, I don't know if it's his 7-foot frame or what, but he seems to move through the woods faster than anyone else on foot.
He does do it kind of Sasquatchly.
I'm telling you.
Would you like that word I made up?
Sasquatchly. What was the one you used earlier about this being? I think it means like second to last. Race. Penultimate.
Yeah,
I gotta add that to the vernacular. That is strong.
That is strong. That's a word that Jason Wygant taught me probably some 15 years ago. And I have so much fun with that at the next to the last round of racing. I say it, I actually giggle every time I say it. I've said it so much. The penultimate round of GNCC. But,
whoa.
And it's simply just a fancy word to say next to last.
I just figured like word of the day toilet paper or something. You know, that's where I learn everything. So
back out here at the Monster Mile now. They did the Maj. Through the cope. Look at this. Walker Fowler is. All right, let's put the 1, 2,
5, 6. Call it 6.
About 8. I got about 8 seconds all the way back to where.
To the bright yellow helmet.
Yeah, about 8 seconds from first to 8th or 5th right now.
He cannot afford to finish off the box, though. That is for darn sure.
No, not at all. That right there will certainly close the gap and maybe put Walker Fowler back in a driver's seat as far as the race is concerned.
7-point difference coming into today with Neal, the beneficiary, or the leader in that.
And if Neal was to finish second behind Fowler, if he was to finish first, then that would bring it to 2 points, like you said. However, if this goes a little further back, what that means, and if the points gap gets more than 5, then all of a sudden Bryson's going to have to beat Walker by more than just first to second.
Right.
So this is a pretty critical day for Bryson Neal. Whenever you start to looking at the big picture in this championship right now, this finish today is going to be the big determining factor as to if it's going to be doable, number one. Obviously, he's got to finish the race, just like everyone does have to do that. And then 2, if he finishes behind Walker, is it going to be more than the points?
Yeah,
so
right.
And it could end up being like that when it's all said and done anyway. I mean, 2 points added onto that. Well, it's only 2. Yeah, it would be Walker making up points. So, yeah, Bryson better get busy is all I got to say, folks. It is Walker Fowler out front and on the fly. Can Bryson Neal make his way back through the pack? Cole Richardson now in the number 3 spot behind Hunter Hart. Things are getting crazy back here, folks. Stick around. GNCC continues after this. Brown's RV Superstore is family-owned and operated and stake their reputation on offering you the finest RVs available in their McBee, South Carolina RV dealership. Brown's RV Superstore carries motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers, and keep a huge inventory of new and used RVs in stock for you to choose from. They offer top dollar for your RV trade-in and help you get the RV financing you need. As a part of the GNCC family, Brown's RV Superstore, in partnership with Vengeance Toy Haulers, offers sponsorship packages for every level of racer with discounts and continued savings on your new toy hauler. Brown's RV Superstore has dedicated themselves to complete customer satisfaction, specializing in providing a positive start to your RV adventure. They look forward to customers coming back to share their tales from the road. Call Brown's RV Superstore today at 877-805-3658 or visit their website at brownsrvsuperstore.com, where family fun begins.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
Hi, my name is John Coffey. I'm an AMSOIL dealer from Southern Virginia. And with the changing of the season now and people are starting to put equipment away in storage from one season to the next, today's AMSOIL Spotlight is going to be on 3 different ways and 3 different products that AMSOIL can protect your equipment even when it's not running. First, we have our Quick Shot Fuel Stabilizer. That eliminates any kind of problems with ethanol issues. It keeps water suspended so it burns out at a natural rate, and it actually has short-term properties to it as well. And then it's an outstanding cleaner as well. And then we have our gasoline stabilizer. This is for more long-term storage. That'll actually keep gas from breaking down and for up to a year even. So those 2 products there go into every one of my gas cans at home. And I never worry about draining any gas out of any of my equipment from one season to the next. They fire right back up again. And then we have our engine fogging oil. You can spray that directly into the carburetor at a fast idle until a little bit of smoke starts coming out, and then you can shut it off, and after it cools a little bit, you can remove the spark plug, spray a little bit more down in the cylinder, and you have an excellent lubricant inside the cylinder. You don't have to worry about any kind of corrosion. The piston rings and pistons stay free all the time as an excellent protectant. So again, those are 3 different products where AMSOIL can protect your equipment even when it's not in use. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend.
And back here at Newburgh, West Virginia, CJ Raceway, mile marker number 9, the FMF PowerPoint. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes and Cody Collier doing a little bit of figuring here in the break on this whole points chase and race and how many positions can we see Bryson Neal lose without it being too much of an effect. And the ideal scenario from a race fan standpoint is what we're sitting at right now. Mikey, explain the point situation.
Oh, I'm glad you threw it to me. I'm not nervous about math at all. Somewhere my second grade teacher's like, all right, let's see how he does. I'm sure everybody at home like us has the calculators out, and you're looking at the points. Basically, right now, if Walker wins, we know that's 30. If Bryson Neal finishes where he's at, that's 4th place. That's 18 points. That means our points leader heading into Ironman would be Walker Fowler with 300, Bryson Neal with 295, essentially making it a winner-take-all. Only other scenarios if they end up 5 points apart.
And let's look in the pot there. Right now, Bryson Neal sits at 6 wins. Walker Fowler,
that's what I was going to say. Yep.
Walker Fowler has 5 wins. A win today would give him 6 wins. It would give Bryson Neal 6 wins, and if that 5-point deficit, if it did become the tiebreaker, then it would mean that whoever has the most wins would win the champion, from what I understand. So.
Yeah. So Walker's got 4 wins coming into today, so this would be his
he's
5th.
only got 4?
Yeah, correct. This would be his 5th win.
I thought okay, so then it would go to Bryson then.
So if we end in a tie,
it would be Bryson's at that particular point. So right now, best case scenario for Walker Fowler, he win today, he win at Ironman.
I'm telling you, if this scenario ends, Shaver family, if you're watching at home, you may as well start getting out the paint and painting the lines, because folks are going to be lined up to get in there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight.
Yeah. You going?
You going?
I'm already here.
Time.
I'm already here.
Yeah.
They'll be lined up tonight. You're right. They'll be in line tonight. They'll be stacking them in.
That is going to be, regardless, I think, where they end up today, unless something, knock on wood, they at least finish where they're at, it's setting up to be a hell of a season finale.
Absolutely. All right, as we check in, Devin Feehan making his way through. When we came back to this shot a few moments ago, it was our front runners, and I caught it a little late. Adam Gordon, I heard you saying something, our producer said, between 3 seconds between Walker and Bryson. Bryson still in the 4th place position. So that gap that Walker had amassed in the open field session, it looked like he was on the run, has lost every bit of it out there.
1 lapper or 1 tip. That's all it takes.
Perfect. Yeah.
1 lapper, 1 tip.
Bingo.
Lost all of it, but
can't afford. This is a day that you cannot afford to make many mistakes, if any mistakes.
Yeah, Bryson's used his 1 mulligan today. He's got none left. Right now it's now the pressure to me is on Bryson Neal. He's got to pick up every position he picks up is going to benefit him more, obviously, but Still a lot of racing left, though. You know, it's not like it's the checkered flag coming out next. We've still got to see that white flag yet, and then we can start really going to work.
Well, due in less than 10 at the 9-mile marker. We saw these guys going through a few moments ago. I think we're probably around the neighborhood of around 6 minutes or a little less before we expect to see our leaders checking in. And like we said, should be seeing a white flag. Put us just under a 2-hour battle, but mercy sakes alive, here they are out in the open, and they are nose to tail basically still out here, folks. This is an hour and 15 minutes into this race.
Hart looks like he wants a piece of Walker.
Absolutely, and just like I was mentioning, you know, these guys earlier today in the opener, that was
is he going to get it? Is he going to get it?
I don't know. I think Walker's got the drive.
I'll tell you, Walker. No!
Oh,
whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Hunter Hart finding another gear right there.
Go Hunter Hart.
All
Let's
right.
see if he can hang on to that.
Go. Walker.
There goes Walker back. Unless he goes.
No, Hunter Hart is not relinquishing, folks. And that's one of the things that I mentioned today earlier in the opener. I talked about the rising successes and aggressions of riders like Hunter Hart and Cole Richardson. And look, both of these riders are right here in the thick and mix of things. And Hunter Hart is really putting it all on the line for Walker Fowler right now, and he gets him again. We've seen the lead change, about 4 times in the last mile or half mile or so.
I got to admit, during the commercial break, we didn't account for this scenario.
What do we just think? Scratch all the math.
Sorry about that, folks. Forget everything we just said.
That's right.
You know, I talked to Hunter Hart. I tried not to hype it up too much. He texted me last night, and he said, "Mikey, it's time." And I just replied back, P1, ? And I don't think he replied back, but I talked to him this morning at the youth podium, and he's like, what's the overall trophy? What's it look like? And so he's asking us, we showed it to him, and he's like, I'm trying to manifest this into existence. And he might be on to something right now. I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. How much do you think that thing weighs, man, that trophy?
Oh, it is a concrete, statue, essentially, of the state of West Virginia, and it is quite heavy. I'm a bulky dude,
I bet
and it's heavy.
every bit of 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah. They used a full bag of concrete on that thing, okay? It is not small.
Well, here we go, folks. Nail biter racing right here, and one that, you couldn't script, like I said, you couldn't script a better season, and you couldn't script a better penultimate round of racing of what we're seeing right now. Is Hunter Hart goes out wild.
Slam says, how you doing?
Man, this is wow. I mean,
new Hunter Hart.
Yeah,
I have not seen this Hunter
Hart.
I'm
gonna tell you, I haven't seen racing like this since the William Yoakley, Bill Balance, and those guy days back in the wow. Probably not so much the early days. They were kind of a mid-range time, but back in my early days, so to speak. Matt Smiley.
There goes Bryson Neal. Got around the Coltrane, makes it stick into the woods.
All right, so Bryson, you know he's got to be hungry.
Threw him a thumbs up as he was going over the hill.
So our top 5 into the woods now as they check in with us. Man, look at the difference in the way things are going. Bryson Neal was second at the end of the last lap. Hunter Hart was 5th. We've seen Bryson drop back to 5th. Cole Richardson was in 3rd. We've seen Hunter Hart move up to the number 2 spot and in briefly to the number 1 position now.
Twice. He passed Walker twice in a mile.
Man. This, again,
and Glauda's still right there. He's within 5 seconds of
here's the thing. You know, as great as it is to be here, I almost have to think that maybe watching it on racing TV might be a better seat in the house as opposed to actually being at the racetrack. Now, you don't get the atmosphere that you get here at the racetrack, but you folks at home, you've got yourselves a great seat for this championship and this battle that is unfolding for just the win here today in Newburgh, West Virginia, let alone the championship that it's affecting as well.
Now I can't help but think, can Bryson Neal go 2 for 1? If Hunter Hart is dead set on playing spoiler to try and get out in front of Walker Fowler, are they going to get into it enough to where Bryson Neal just sneaks in there and takes 2 for 1?
Hey.
This track's not wide enough for all 3 of them, okay? There's no room.
Well, we'll see.
That's right, we'll see. I don't know.
Bryson Neal has amazed us on more than one occasion. That is for sure. Beautiful day here in West Virginia as we can do nothing but wait at this particular point and to find out how's this amazing battle between Fowler, Hunter Hart, Bryson Neal, Cole Richardson, and of course John Glotta Jr. unfolding. Glotta's not out of this one either. He dropped back to that number 5 spot, but he is well within sight and striking distance of these guys. And you want to talk about probably one of the best school days that John Glotta can have.
Absolutely.
Right now, that right there is going to put him in a position at Ironman to be a force. As well, it's going to put him in the mindset to be a contender next year when the first green flag waves in 23.
Well, he's already talked to me about next year. He's
Has
excited.
He? That tells you right there. That gives you some indications of where I'm seeing it. I recognize it. I see it. And I can see why he feels it.
I want to give a real fast shout out to Kyle Schaus, one of our ATV amateur riders. He is not racing with us this weekend as we got our leaders on screen coming into the finish. He's down in Florida helping with relief work with Reach Out Worldwide, ROWW. And he is really putting in the work down there in Florida and couldn't be here racing with us this weekend. So I want to give him a shout out as the white flag comes out.
Here comes Hunter back once again. White flag is out. That's 3 laps down. And we have been on the edge of our seat, guys, since the waving of the green flag. This race has not subsided or relinquished any whatsoever.
This is going to be good. And Bryson Neal kind of playing it smart right now. Little bit of a gap right there, just enough for him to say, all right, are you two going to go at it again? I don't want to be there and end up with my front grab bar in your rear grab bar.
Absolutely. And that might be the best scenario that Bryson could be in right now, is to just kind of let this play out ahead of him and see what happens between Walker and Bryson as we roll through this now 4th lap, into the 4th lap. White flag is out, and our top 5 riders are all right there. And again, folks, as this race is winding down, those of us here trackside, they dip back into the woods again. They're still nose to tail as these guys continue to wage this war, looking ahead to some excitement tonight. Somebody's going to be celebrating with a little polka dancing tonight. Oktoberfest at the podium tonight here at GNCC. Who's going to be doing the polka? We'll find out. Fireworks at 9 o'clock tonight as well, and Sweet Lips again at 10 o'clock. I might not be able to go back to the hotel tonight. Also, Tyler Farr is going to be part of the entertainment at Ironman GNCC, so get your tickets now, folks. Get your tickets now. Tyler Farr, get in line now. Not only are you going to see this, a great battle, you get Tyler Farr to celebrate whatever happens later that night at the Ironman. Good Lord, I'm telling you, what better? I mean, honestly, guys, you've been around, 5 years? You grew up in this series, Cody. So have you ever seen, I mean, when's the last time you've seen something like this particular scenario? 5 guys racing like what they're racing at like this, let alone the championship implications that are along with this.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. This is definitely refreshing. You haven't seen this since the balance era, honestly. It was always just Borch riding over whoever was in that first place that day and then pass him on the last lap. Borch was just so dominant for so many years, and then Walker Fowler came on the scene, and those two just ran away with it. And then it's always just been 2 guys that have just been
absolutely
a minute a lap faster than everyone else. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And then now we got 5 guys that are mixing up almost every race. It's fantastic to see. You know, Walker and Bryson are there every single time, but everyone else, it's Cole 1 race, Hunter 1 race, Junior 1 race. They're stepping up for sure, these young guys.
Oh, here comes Bryson Neal.
He's up the inside. That's a pass.
No,
he was nice. He was nice. I am really surprised.
Well, you got to look at the big picture here.
Yeah,
he has
can't
Nerf
afford
bars.
a break.
He has Nerf bars. I really thought he was going to run that in on him.
So, again, I mean, like we said, not this tight of racing since basically the balance era, and that's what I was alluding to earlier. I haven't seen anything like this, not at this juncture. I mean, we're an hour and 23 minutes into this race. We're on a white flag lap right here. If we could
get... And the top 5 are touching. You throw a blanket over them. It's awesome. Awesome racing.
Well, kudos to our track designers, Ryan Eccles and Jared Bolton. Jeff Russell, I'm sure, had a little bit of a hand in it as well. Several other folks always out there. But basically, it's Ryan and it's Jared out there, and they do a great job of laying out the course. And this week, they have done a magnificent job. add to that perfect conditions as far as the soil. We have seen a little bit of dry here, but in the woods, I mean, it seems to be perfect.
Yeah, the dirt is very, very nice here, and it's 7 different types of dirt. It's great.
And that right there might lend itself to that as well, because there's something for everyone. I tell you, I want to look back at some of these classes when we get in our next little lull, which could be, we looked at that back as far as the College A there a few moments ago, and we saw Lane McCormick leading James Glotta in that College A class. The College B class, after 2 for those guys, Charlie Stewart, Caden Lambruno, Connor Brandt, David Witt, and looks like Connor Adair are your top 5 in that class. Junior A, Corey Vandeliner, Jeremy Ladon running in the number 2 spot. Alex Alioff, who is fast as lightning, in the number 3 spot. Seth Wilson in 4th, and Devin Masters rounding out the top 5 in that one there. As we go and look at the, I believe, next Junior B class, thinking that is Michael Donston. Out of Mercer, PA. Logan Case in the number 2 spot. William Wallace in 3rd out of Maryland. Nicholas Blaney in 4th, and Noah Howard rounding out the top 5 Junior B. The Vet A, Kevin Yoho, who is the top running A-class rider right now. He was 23rd overall, I think, when we looked a few moments ago.
Lane McCormick was.
Oh, was it
well,
Lane?
Lane was.
Oh, Lane, but okay, well then. Well,
that was at the end of lap 2. I don't know about the end of lap 3 that's coming up.
Okay.
At end of lap 2, it was Lane.
Okay, well, Kevin was right there, not too far behind. He was one of the next ones then if he wasn't the leader. So what we're saying, folks, is that the XC1 and XC2 are rolling today, and it's making it tough for even the faster A riders to get into the top 20 today. Brent Stardivant in the number 2 spot. Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens is 3rd. Mike McAvoy is 4th. Brad Whitehead rounds out the top 5 in that Vet A. Vet B class, as we take a look down, Derek Hart, the 418 from Morgantown, West Virginia, and Taylor Lazelle running 1 and 2. Justin Ratliff, Corey Pancake, and Steve Schaefer, your 3, 4, and 5 rides there in the Vet B class. And as we look, I believe this is their Senior A class. Zachary Phillips leading Ronald Varndell, Dirk DeCesar in the number 3 spot. Brian Axline is 4th, and Chris Conklin rounding out the 5th in the Senior A class. And now down to the Senior B class, where Paul Myers leads Rick Marino, Shane Worth in the number 3 spot, Rick McCauley in 4th, and Mike Reiser rounding out the top 5 in that class. So that's a quick scan of all of our afternoon classes, top 5s there for you as we back out here checking in and waiting on our top XC1 riders in the most contested battle in the last decade. Plus, absolutely plus. Again, 6 years with Chris Borge, 7 years so far, 8 years basically with Walker Fowler. So here we are. It's been 15, probably going on close to 21 years.
Yeah. I'd say at least 15 years of anything like this. 5 guys being able to get a win.
Yeah, we'll go. All right, I'm getting a little off on that. 15 years, definitely 15 years ago since we've seen anything like this. At least I don't remember it if it's been since then.
Might have been a race here or there, but not like a season like this where 5 guys have been great.
Yeah. I'm saying a race like this.
This race is awesome. There's been several this year where it's been 4 or 5 guys.
But not like this.
This is great.
This is, to me, top. I mean, I'm on the rev limiter as far as excitement goes right now. Things starting to separate now as Hunter Hart has gone into defense mode, trying to fend off the 241 of Bryson Neal at this particular point. So that is, again, saving grace for Walker Fowler as this battle ensues. And Bryson Neal is just watching and hoping and looking for those tight wood sections to get back into the flow and the groove of things to get these things tightened back up. But he wants around this number 2 machine of Hunter Hart. What's wrong with your?
There's it going now. There we go. Yeah. Those are valuable points right there. There we go. Yeah. Take 2.
Very good line, Mikey, and you did it on cue. It's just nobody heard it.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I can't be a race announcer right now. I'm too much of a race fan. I mean, we all see what's happening. I don't have to tell you. This right here is
right
off the scale.
I mean, if this, just watching it alone, if that doesn't get you fired up, I mean, you're probably just watching the wrong sport. I don't know what to tell you, because this should just light you up with excitement right now.
Well, I think, was it Jared Bolton a couple of weeks ago at Burr Oak, he said, we're going to have to revive a word that was overused.
Oh, yeah.
The word epic. Again, we can't call this anything but this is, I think, the pure definition of what epic is when we watch this battle unfold before our eyes.
That's exactly right, and Walker Fowler doing a good job right now trying to stretch that thing out.
Well, we are starting to see a little separation back to the number 5 ride. Galata looks like he may have dropped off pace just a little bit. Here he comes. He's still within somewhat sight in these open field sections, but he might want to click it up a little bit if he wants to stay that tight with these guys. And then as they get into these woods, we might see that very well happen. So right now, an hour and 30 minutes into this race, and we haven't taken a breath hardly since. You know, we think it's hard on our nerves. Imagine what it's like. Well, tell us, Cody, what's it like to be in a battle? You were like in a battle in 2 hours like this yourself this morning.
Yeah, there's 3 of us. There was on 5, but no, the 3 of us. It was awesome. Yeah, I'm a little out of excitement. You guys are like gnawing at your teeth, and I've already had my excitement today. This is awesome racing, but I'm a little beat from today after all the excitement I had.
I tell you, this is a race fan's drug. I'm high right now, man.
Right, yeah. I keep thinking I need to get back down to the finish line for this, but I don't want to. I don't want to stop watching.
Well, we still
it's
got
so good.
You still got 20 minutes.
I got plenty of time.
Yeah, you take the quad. You'll make it down there.
I might just wait until it's like they're coming through.
Somebody's going to be dancing the polka and happy tonight at 8 o'clock with those Sweet Lips. Fireworks tonight at 9, Sweet Lips. But here's the thing: that Tyler Farr coming to the Ironman GNCC.
Pretty cool.
That guy's like on the radio, man. We play him at my radio station. We play him there. All right, who's up the second now?
Hart's still holding that 2 spot.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah,
This is that section Hart was able to make the pass on Coltrane.
Yeah, Hart would have taken it if he would have felt Bryson was close enough, but he knew he had enough cushion to slingshot that outside. And then Junior's still right there.
Yeah, Junior's not letting it get too far away. These woods do tighten things right back up, so John Galata Jr. not far out of it.
And there's a big gap to that 6. I believe McGill and Abney and Jay Shatter real close.
Yeah, McGill up from 9th earlier in the race to 1 minute 11 seconds back in 6th. Austin Abney behind him in 7th by about 3 seconds. Another 20 seconds back to Jared McClure. Chris Borch rounding out the top 10 now. And re-scanning, best I can see, it's all XC1 riders. And it's been a while since we've seen that. All XC1 riders in the top 10 overall in the final lap. Normally you got an XC2 guy.
Yeah, this is a technical track. You got to be really smart here.
Well, then how did you make it through? No.
Man,
wow.
I'm sorry. I can't stand in between you guys anymore. It's going to come to blows.
I tell you, I like this guy, man. I wouldn't do that if I didn't like him. There's too much of my porterhouse personality starting to come across on. If you guys don't know it, I'm a totally different person on the radio back home. So he's starting to inch in here, and I do apologize for that today. he's that bully kind of guy, you know.
Just be able to take it if you're going to dish it.
Yeah, well, I can take it. That's the beauty. I can take it better than anybody because
you dish it pretty good.
I do.
He said you dish it pretty good.
Well then,
no, I was good.
Start dishing back, buddy. Get my. I'll tell you guys off air, but I had my lead guy so upset. He got mad. He went out the room the other day, punching the wall because I called him Bedbeard.
Bedbeard.
But it was like the 3rd day in a row I'd attacked his beard.
Hey, at least he can grow one. I can't even grow one. Okay.
4th day, he was very well groomed on the 4th day, to say the least. Well, right now, who's going to be coming out
into that coal pile?
Yeah. Coal pile. Will Coltrane?
Hey.
Will Coltrane maybe surprise us? I mean, the way things have gone, anything's possible at this point. Anything can happen. When these guys are this tight, you see them go from like 2nd to 5th or 1st to 5th. Whatever. It can go from 5th to 1st just as quick as there's Walker Fowler. That's not going to happen. Fowler out front still as we head to the Monster Mile. Fowler still.
Neal into 2nd.
Wow. So, I was going to say they've dropped back. Must have really been in a really big, heated battle. So, whatever it was, you could tell that Hunter Hart fought with everything that he had, but Bryson Neal's able to get by. Got one lap rider over there off to the side saying, go. Couldn't be a better seat in the house than what he's got going on right now. Track crew watching this one as well. Man, bumper to grab bar, nose to tail. Top 4 riders, 5 riders still like this out here. 20 minutes, well, that's what it was a few moments ago. I say we're somewhere in the neighborhood of closer to around maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, 16 minutes before checkers. Mikey got the calculator out once again, trying to do the math on the point situation. So where are we looking at right now?
So Fowler, if he got the win, would be 30 points. That gives him 300. Neal, if he stays where he's at, gets 25. That gives him 302. We're at a winner-take-all at Ironman, essentially.
There you go. 2-point deficit. So with that, bit of excitement to digest and all this that is going on and what we've got to happen. Man, I can't believe it, guys. Couldn't have scripted a better day. Greatest racing we've had in well over a decade in ATV GNCC racing when you've got this kind of battle going on. Walker Fowler leading Bryson Neal. Hunter Hart in the number 3 spot. Cole Richardson 4th. John Glada in 5th. We'll be back with more from the Buckwheat 100 after this.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
This week in Yamaha history takes us back to May 22nd, 2010, and the Mountain Ridge GNCC in Somerset, Pennsylvania. It was the time of the Chris Borich era of GNCC racing, and it was the days of riders like Florida's Taylor Kaiser, Pennsylvania's Chris Bithell, Illinois' Donnie Ackerman, Ohio's Brandon Summers, Mark Notman, and Kevin Yoho. And of course, one of today's top vet riders out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, Jeffrey Pickens. Pickens grabbed the early hole shot and actually the early lead aboard his Yamaha that day. He was followed by fellow Yamaha pilot, the number 2 of Taylor Kaiser, and lurking not far in the background was Chris Borich. Borich soon found his way to the front of the pack as Kaiser fell all the way back to 6th place on the first lap. And then it was Chris Bithell who worked his way up to the rear bumper of Borich and keeping the competition dialed in through most of the race. As the conditions were a little wet due to some rain showers leading into the week, the hard, rocky course at Mountain Ridge presented a great racetrack and a great battle that day. As the race wore on and the riders were sorting things out, it was Yamaha's Taylor Kaiser slowly inching his way up from that 6th place on lap 1, all the way up to 2nd place on the final lap, pulling to within 12 seconds behind Chris Borch, where he finished behind Borch, who took the win. Adam McGill took 3rd on that day. And that's this week in Yamaha history. Wow. This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Well, to say the least, I feel protected here this weekend. See, the heavy artillery is out here in West Virginia as the mountain, well, I was going to call it the Mountaineer. Doggone it. The folks here at the Buckwheat 100 fans are out in full force here this weekend from Preston County, from these wonderful mountains of West Virginia, giving us, again, great old school GNCC racing. And, you know, it's perfect that it happens where we are here today in Newburgh, because this is kind of old school GNCC. When you go back to the roots and the history of it, when it first started back in the 70s and 80s and into the 90s, it was places like this that we've become big open field pastures. There's Walker Fowler, and this is the biggest lead he's had all day long.
Gone.
He is gone. There is Bryson Neal in the number 2 spot. Thing is, though, Bryson's right where he needs to be. Doesn't need to push the envelope too bad. Things are in control because no matter what happens, he's got one more battle to go with Walker Fowler in 2 weeks at the Ironman GNCC. So if he stays where he's at right now, Cody Collier, it's not the worst. If he doesn't push it, no one would blame him at this particular point. Just to maintain where he's at would probably be as good as a win heading into the final round.
We'll see what he does. I don't know what his mindset is. I bet he's pretty licking his lips to get him. If he wins today, beats Walker today, he doesn't have to win Ironman. He pretty much just has to finish, like
right.
top 4.
And I'm sure that's something too that is looming in his mind. So you know you've got those couple scenarios.
He's torn, I bet. I guarantee.
And then
torn.
On top of that, take into account the racer's mental attitude when it comes to racing. Win at all costs, basically, whenever you're out there. So at this particular point, you know, what voice are you going to listen to?
Everyone's different. Today, I went a little bit with the send method. It ended up putting me into a couple trees, but no.
Look how far back John Glotta is now. I mean,
I bet that's I almost. He's dropped a little bit off pace, but it's probably a lapper caught him up maybe a little bit more. He didn't split properly when the other guys did. And,
but just to
puts him off flow.
Yeah,
puts him off flow.
Yeah, and at this point in the race, as intense as the race has been, it doesn't take much to get your flow. And once you get your rhythm knocked out at this point, it's really hard to get it back, especially on lap 4, and you're just a few miles away from the finish line at this point.
Yeah, you lost sight of them guys. They've been walking away for a little bit that lap, and a couple lappers just knocked the wind out of your sails. It happens. Abney back around McGill. Let's go.
That's a good
Abney's
battle.
hungry, yeah. And they're not too far off the juniors.
Yeah, they've closed up a little bit of that gap. They were well over a minute, pushing a minute and a half.
J-Shot right there. Good ride from him. He closed back in on these two.
Leaders due in about 8 minutes at the finish line. I imagine we'll probably have a pretty full finish line zone down there whenever.
Oh yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be a special place for sure. As this one, when it comes to an end, everybody, I mean, they worked for it today. Everyone, not everybody obviously can win the race, but they all rode like winners today. There's no doubt. They all rode with the heart to win. They all rode with the desire to win. It's a good signal for the Ironman. It's a good signal for 2023. It's a bright thing that we're seeing and witnessing here today in West Virginia.
Yeah, they're trying to show out here at the end of the year, build some confidence for next year. Everyone's like we said, it's awesome to see 5 guys being able to win these races, and Abney's showing light here and there, and then Borch and McGill and these guys, if they get a good start at a certain track, they could things could start clicking for them. And McClurter's coming back off injury. He was great at the game this year.
One question I have,
bright.
much of a silly season for the ATV guys. I don't think there's a lot of changes going on. I think a lot of guys, we got going to stick with a lot of the same programs. I haven't heard of any changes or anything. Kind of like, there's some big things.
Feehan's switching to bicycles.
Well, other than that, other than Feehan leaving basically, and going to mountain bike racing, if you know anything about the back scene of what's going on the two-wheel side of things, folks are going to be dropping their mouths when they see what happens for 2023.
They're not going to who is what. Yeah, here's the lead. This last good field section before the finish. It's a long one, but this is about it for Bryson.
So Bryson right where he needs to be, maybe not where he wants to be. But he doesn't want to be any further back than where he's at right now.
Yeah, after he dropped back to 5th at this track, he's happy just to be in 2nd, but he's just putting himself in a good spot. Seeing what he can
I don't know. He's not riding like he's happy to be in 2nd.
Oh, he's going to ride for everything he's got all the way to the checker for sure.
And like you say, you put that little bit of buffer in there. That way he doesn't have to win. It gives him that chance to finish a 3rd, maybe as far back as 4th, possibly, depending on how things go. And that would be something worth riding for at this particular point. Would it be worth taking? Is the risk worth the reward? Maybe not so much the big risk, but definitely if this opportunity presents itself. Yeah, this almost looks like what we were looking at on lap 2. Whoa!
Wow, that pivot by Bryson. That was.
Look at that. Threads a needle, and he bumps Walker Fowler. Oh, they're together. Fowler stalls it out, and Bryson Neal able to get by, and look out, he is on his way. Man, I want to see a specialized rapid replay on that. You kind of saw it said. I really wasn't expecting to see that. I knew that Bryson and expected that Bryson wanted to take this win, but I didn't know that he was willing to go that way to get that aggressive, and I didn't realize that Walker would be willing to go that hard to defend that that position.
Bryson was just like, I have the inside, I'm going to throw it sideways, and Walker just kept driving into him, trying to push him wide and able to get the cut, and they came to a stop, and that's the championship aggression going on right now for sure. Awesome riding from Bryson right there. Set him up, and let's see what Walker's got.
Look at the towels rolling right now. Folks, I tell you, down at the finish line, if you're down there, you're just a couple of minutes away. Less than 5 right now, I am assuming, right in that neighborhood, that you're going to see this battle coming in. It is nose to tail. Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler have eclipsed the rest of the field. I don't know where 3rd place is. They may be just out of camera shot right now, but at the intensity that these guys are riding at right now, Cody, I have to think that they are starting to gap that 3rd place position.
They're at least 10, 15 out right now.
And continuing to go even further out than that as Bryson Neal drops down. Now Walker Fowler into the wood section now, out of that big open field section. So we'll see what happens here. Now we've seen Walker Fowler people were making up time on Walker Fowler in these sections. Here's one thing to point out. Bryson Neal was making up times in these sections. Can Walker Fowler do the same thing in this scenario? Remember, he's been the leader through there every time so far until this lap.
Yeah, he's going to be able to cue off Bryson. Walker knows what the good and bad lines are pretty much. Being champ, you can read the track pretty well. Bryson might have a little bit more of an advantage being able to see everyone hitting it every lap, but was that Colton from Hart?
I think
that's what I think I seen too.
Yeah, I think Cole got back around him there. Hey folks, just to let you know, if you're here at the track, you got a blue heeler puppy. We've got one at rider registration you might want to stop and check out and see if it happens to be yours. While we wait on these riders coming out of the wood section and toward the finish line, we got ourselves a specialized rapid replay of the pass that took place. Here's the setup coming out. Little bump and grind right there. I don't think Walker liked that. He says, I'm not going to take that. Tries to push him back. Tries to spin him out, it looked like. Stalls it out, and that then goes to Bryson Neal. So he's able to get on the gas, but Walker has not let him get too far away so far. It's don't know, a couple, 3 seconds or so as they drop down into the wood section the last time we saw him, Cody. So right now, bated breath. Look at this. The little bump, boom, and then Walker goes right back at him. And, well, you see it. Bryson had a straight line into that turn. Walker had gone out wide. So, you know, neither one of them were wrong in that scenario or situation.
No, they're championships on the line. They're
Absolutely.
going on. And all rules are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, that both were going for the exact same line. And, yeah, I mean, that's just racing. And that is the exact thing where you say Rubbin's racing, and that was Rubbin racing right there. Here we go. Look at the crowd beginning to gather. They all want to see what we want to see. How is this going to end? There's the Borges even. The Borges family is there. Everybody's just wondering how this is going to go. Will Walker Fowler suffer defeat here today as Bryson Neal emerges from the woods, still out front, with Walker Fowler still in the shadows back there lurking as they make their way around this final field section, dip into the finish line region and toward the checker flags, and Bryson Neal does it. Takes another win here in the 2022 season and sets himself up for the possibility and likelihood of the 2022 Grand National Cross Country Championship if things go his way at Ironman in 2 weeks. And there it is, the math that he was looking for. He comes into this one with a 7-point lead. Add 5 more onto that, a 12-point lead heading into Ironman GNCC. It doesn't seal the championship by no stretch of the imagination, but it sure makes it a lot easier as folks are congratulating him, and you can see the somberness around the ATV of Walker Fowler right now, and rightfully so. Walker leading this race right until the last couple of miles when right there we saw it happen. Bryson struck like lightning, and folks, it's here it is. We are at this point. A champion sitting left wondering what's it going to take to make it up. Walker knows what he can do. The only thing Walker can do go out next race is win that race. And he is at the mercy of whatever happens to this guy right here, right now. And Bryson put himself into that position. I wondered, like I said, there were 3 voices that were talking to him at that particular point. I think that 2 of those voices may have weighed heavier. The racer in him and the rider that wanted to get that points gap and that cushion heading into that final round. And Mikey Waynes is down there near our Specialized podium. We'll be getting some words in with him here in just a moment. And again, Walker Fowler, as we said, a rather somber moment at this particular time. And even, I mean, probably one of the somberest I've seen probably ever out of Walker Fowler. You know, there's no emotion really being shown. It's just kind of like, what do we do now?
Yeah, it's just he knows he needs a little bit of luck. He gave everything he had today. Bryson just had a little something extra in that field section, made it happen, and
you can't
reflecting and knows he needs a little luck.
They both fought. They both wanted it. They both deserved it. But the one that deserved it most today, obviously, was Bryson Neal. As he comes out on top, taking the checkers. We head down to Mikey Waynes, who is with our round 12 winner.
Guys threw it down to me. A little trouble here and down here as the party's on. One race closer. Bryson Neal, this was an absolute dogfight. Middle of the pack, worked your way up, had a little bobble, fell back, worked your way back up. Didn't think you were going to be able to get this one, but last lap you come out and you get the job done.
Yeah, that going from back to 5th place right before the pit, you know, we was ripping good. This bike, the CST tires, Hauser A-arms, that Moto Experts engine, tuned by Pat Kidwell, everything was just on rails. I felt so dang good today. I love this track. I love the flow. I was feeling myself. I could tell I was riding really, really good. I was riding an edge that I don't think anyone else was wanting to ride. But went for Walker. I went for a little pass on the inside, and I got sideways, and I got shuffled back. And then I went to pass Cole, and a line that I tried to take the lap before that I actually made a pass on Galata, a log got kicked, and it caught my A-arm, and it flipped me. And right before the pit, I went back to 5th place, and I was like, oh my gosh. I just saw my whole race, my championship. If I could make it back to the pack, you know, it was real tight racing. There was, I made the passes. I made them work. I made them stick, but my goodness, it was really hard to pass today. And this last lap was insane. To pass Hunter, to pass Walker out there in the field, it was a hell of a battle. There ain't nothing like GNCC racing like that today. This is a true Blue Woods race. Hopefully this is an awesome race for the fans. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And we're looking forward to Ironman and keep this thing rolling.
Hey, keep it rolling. And one more round, man. You are one away from a national championship. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch, but you're in the driver's seat. What's going through your head on that regard?
Oh, getting the job done today was the big thing. You know, getting this win and increasing my gap, going to 12 points, having a little bit of breathing room going to Ironman. That was the goal coming in. We was able to accomplish that. So now it's up to my dad and me and Pat Kidwell in the shop, get this engine perfected, get this bike perfected, and Loctite everything on the machine and bring her home in Ironman.
There you go. Your winner of the Buckwheat 100, Bryson Neal.
Well, there you go, folks. Bryson Neal planned and executed. That's how you get her done, at least here today. And one more race away. And as we said, that one's always the nerve-wracking one for sure. But he's got a little bit of a cushion going into that one. And I'll tell you, the rider right now that was hoping that cushion would not exist is Walker Fowler, as Mikey Waynes is making his way on over right now to talk with him. And of course, it's not over for this rider yet, by no stretch of the imagination. And the Ironman is going to be gloves off battle. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to be an exciting one. You know, and to be honest with you, I haven't even checked to see who ended up getting in the number 3 spot. It was Cole Richardson. The Cole train finishing 34 seconds back of Walker Fowler. Hunter Hart finishing in 4th. John Glottal will take the number 5 spot. Jay Shadron in 6th. Austin Abney 7th. Adam McGill 8th. Chris Boris finishing up in 9th. And Jared McClure rounding out the top 10. And Mikey Waynes is with Walker Fowler.
And the checker flag with the one guy you can't beat today got the best of you, man. What's going through Walker Fowler's mind right now?
You know, honestly, had I not had a good start, I don't even know if I'd have been a podium guy today. I definitely was playing roadblock at the beginning. I rode tight all day. I could never shake it. You know, I had a decent lap or two, or a decent lap there after we pitted, but man, it just got tight again. I don't know what I was fighting. I didn't adjust the stabilizer before the race, but you know, doesn't matter. This one's on me. You know, at the end there, I was doing what I needed to do to be out front, and didn't look over my shoulder. I was like, it doesn't matter if it's Neal or Hart or Richardson, whoever it is. You got to be ahead of them. You really need this win. And man, second to last corner on the field, basically one of the last spots to be able to pass. It just got a little bit of a weird kick off of a jump, got a little sideways. Bryson had a good line, and man, we're pretty good at, you know, kind of riding like supercross riders when it comes to the field stuff. So, you know, I'll run him into a hay bale. I'm not afraid to do that, and he'll run me into one too. So he started to, and I just turned into him. Like, man, if I'm hitting it, we're both going out right here. I'm just whatever it takes. So, you know, it got a little rough there for a second, spun him out, but I stalled the bike, and we, just rode the wheels off it to the end, but had a little bobble again, just trying a last-ditch thing. Kind of didn't work out. So. Can't blame anybody but myself. I really had to win this one, and with you know, a minute and a half to go, I let it go. So, got to go out, win and the cards will fall where they fall.
There you go. That sums it up right there. Go out, win the next one. Let the chips fall where they may. We'll take it back to you, Rodney.
All righty, thanks a lot. A good attitude, and Walker knows he's kind of anticipated and expected maybe this situation might arise today. So I'm sure he too, like everyone else, run through all the scenarios as far as what these final 2 rounds of racing would yield. It may not be what he had hoped for, but he's a true champion. There's no doubt about it. He'll be back to fight another day. And, of course, depending on what happens at Ironman GNCC, may have to come back and try to reclaim a championship if he's not able to get number 8 here in the 2022 season. But, wow, what a great race today, as we said. It's been one of the best that we've seen since basically the balance era back before Chris Borch and his, those two started going at it. But what a day, and what a finish. Cole Richardson finishing in the number 3 spot today with a Vista Cup Wars with Hunter Hart there toward the end as well. So we head back down with Mikey Waynes.
For you, the Monster Mile, man. Cole, hey, good race, man. Had some good battles there. Hunter Hart got you at one point, but when the checker flag flew, able to get around Hart and seal the deal on this third-place finish, man. Tell us about it.
You know, we got off to a good start there, which is I knew is what we kind of needed coming into this race. The woods are kind of actual like a woods race. You know, they're not super fast. You know, a little more technical, I feel like. Good flow, and, you know, the field sections gave a lot of options for passing, and got a little worried there for a while. You know, we fell back to fourth, and I knew there was other guys within sight behind me. Like I said, I was kind of scared to look back. I think I caught a glimpse of Glada's helmet in the field section on the last lap there and was a little worried because I knew, you know, he's young, has nothing to lose, and he has really good speed, especially in the fields. But, you know, Hunter made a pretty solid move on me early on in the race, and I kind of returned the favor there on the last lap and got him in the field section. And kind of wish we could have been sitting third or second there a little more so through the last lap there and kind of give it a better run. But end of the day, we made up points on Hunter, and hopefully we can make up a little more at Ironman.
There you go. There is your third-place finisher here today, the Cole Train, Cole Richardson.
All righty, so Cole Richardson finishing up third. What a day. And there's our GNCC pastor from Team Faith Ministries, Mr. Chuck LeMaster. By the way, don't forget chapel services tonight at 7 o'clock for everybody here. Also, Sweet Lips at 8 o'clock, fireworks at 9 o'clock, and then Sweet Lips. That's the Oktoberfest polka band going to be dancing on the stage there at 10 o'clock as well. As we take another look at this beautiful, sunny Saturday afternoon. A lot of clouds in the sky, kind of partly sunny, I guess you could say. But beautiful fall day here, no doubt about it. Our penultimate round of GNCC racing for sure has brought us more than we could have ever asked for. So, again, congratulations to Bryson Neal, Walker Fowler in second, Cole Richardson third, Hunter Hart, John Glada rounding out the top five, Shadron, Abney, McGill, Forge, and McCord to round out the top 10. And with that, my friends, we come to the end of another great day, and only hope for as great a race tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow as we'll have more live action. It's the two-wheel side of things here from the AMSOIL Buckwheat 100 GNCC. On behalf of Mikey Waynes and Cody Collier, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.